All right, guess what? We're back here at Mama June's. If y'all saw some of our intros here at Mama June's, we're actually sitting in the back, and I had to bypass all the food. And if anybody knows me, then they know that passing the food ain't what I'm supposed to do. Everybody down all the way, put my hand right in front of Mama T there. Mama T's back with us this week. She's back from LA. How was your trip?
It was quick
Really?
and tiring, and then I went straight to work, 3 night shifts in a row, so I'm just exhausted.
Turn that down.
Oh, why is it on? Sorry about that, y'all.
Somebody's got their cell phone turned up.
It's
Turn
me.
it down.
Y'all keep going.
So let's see. Mama T's gone for a week, and look what she does when she comes back.
I know, I'm sorry.
So down here at the other end, we brought Marcus back, and Marcus had a hard time with us last week because our mics weren't working. You did an excellent job, but
Thank you.
We felt so bad that we had to bring you back as our guest this week. So
I felt bad that we had to bring him back as our guest.
wait, did I just say that?
That's what you said.
Well, he didn't catch that. Why did you catch that? You weren't supposed to say. See that? So we're welcome. Glad to have you back, man.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
For those that couldn't hear you last week, give us a little bit about yourself and who you are and where you're from here in Valdosta. We know that you have you're banning the yellow and gold there. So
Absolutely, black and gold.
it looks yellow to me. Is that yellow?
It's yellow.
That is gold.
Okay, it's gold. All right. Mama T said it, so it has to be.
But I am Marcus Rogers. To most people around here, they call me Mr. Wildcat. I'm originally from Brunswick, Georgia, on the coast. But in the late 80s, 88, 89, I moved here. Went to Brooks County for about half a school year, and then moved over to Valdosta and finished out my schooling at Valdosta High. Manager in the 94 season, but really enjoyed it, made a lot of friends, and ever since I try to make it to all the games that I can and follow them and keep up with everything. And y'all made a young man's dream come true last week.
Hold on 1 second. Look at here. What's your name? Abby, come over here just a minute. We're right here at Mama June's, and Abby just brought me a delicious piece of coffee here.
A piece of coffee.
A piece.
A piece
Yes,
of
it's
coffee.
only one piece. I'm going to dip it into my chocolate here. Anyway, thank you very much. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for coming by here and bringing the coffee because everybody knows I need it.
Yeah, thank you, Mama June's. Without them, we would not be here tonight.
Yeah,
That's
thanks
just
Mama
true.
June's for letting us hang out.
And while
Yeah.
Big Raj enjoys his piece of coffee.
Mama
Peace.
June's, 3286 Interpermanent Road. Y'all come by here, eat some good food.
Every day. Every day.
Jimmy comes every day. So every day.
Wait.
So I'm just questioning you, Marcus. Did you
Accuracy.
play when Nick Hyder was coaching?
He was there. I was on the next to last year that he coached.
That was a great man.
Yes, he was.
You
One of
can't
my
take nothing away
one of my
from Nick. He was a
favorite
great guy,
guys,
yeah.
favorite coach of all time.
Yeah.
And then a shout out to my other coach, Coach Mike O'Brien. Coaches back in the day, and I love those two guys and the rest of the staff back then. I still keep up with the ones that are here locally still, run into them and talk to them quite a bit, and just love everybody from.
So have you been able, I don't mean to interrupt you there,
No,
have you
yeah.
been able to associate or talk with some of those Wildcats that have gone on to the either any college at all, the JUCO all the way up to Division I, and maybe if they were able to succeed from there, go like to the pros or anything? Do you keep in contact with
I
those guys?
keep in contact with a lot of them. We've got one who is an assistant coach at Clemson currently.
Go Tigers.
We had one that went up to the pros that from my class that played with the St. Louis Rams when they made their early 2000s Super Bowl run.
Right.
He was on the team then. We had our quarterback back then went on, and he was on the practice squad with the Falcons.
Oh, nice.
And then, of course, then he went in, didn't make it with the Falcons, but then went into, I think it was the Arena League or Indoor Football League up in Kentucky.
Right.
And then went into coaching, and then did other things after that.
Well, listen, okay, so he talks to all these players,
Yeah.
the big Wildcat man that he is, and I've heard you say nothing about anybody from Lowndes County. So do you have people that you stick with, that you talk to, or you're able to keep in contact with since they've left here to go on to do those things?
You mean as far as we have Doug Belt that is scheduled to come on the show sometime soon once he gets a chance? He's now.
Who's Doug Belt?
Doug Belt was a quarterback, led us to state. Now he is the assistant head coach and defensive coordinator at the University of Houston. I have periodically talked to Randall Godfrey, who played in the NFL. I mean,
Well, don't you have, and there's somebody from this, was going to be able to try to come back this week, he was at Troy State or something?
He's Khalil McLean. He played at Troy State. He is possibly going to be drafted into the NFL out of Troy State.
But he couldn't make it back.
He couldn't make it. He's not going to be able to make it before the draft, but we have reached out to him, and he has agreed to come once he gets a chance to come back into town.
Oh, good.
Well, we're
great.
not going to get deep into the draft today. That's probably next week's show.
Oh, next week and the week after.
Because the draft is when, the 19th?
Yeah, no, it's the 29th.
29th, okay.
Last weekend of the
So
month.
the draft will be on the 29th, so the Thursday before that, or the first day of the draft, we'll probably get deep into that.
It'll be all draft.
Go Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, you're my man. Anyway, moving on. Before we get deep into the topic, the pink elephant in the room,
Where? What is it? What are you talking about?
you know.
No, what?
Okay, so before we get into the controversy at Valdosta High School,
There's controversy at Valdosta High
Yes,
School.
okay.
That's your school.
Unfortunately,
big
there's
controversy.
controversy.
But before we get into that, let's touch on a couple other sports topics. I know my boys here think football is the only sport. Well,
Isn't it?
except Roger, he thinks basketball is okay.
Football is the
Um,
only sport, though.
How about the Bravos? So when I started researching for today's show, the Braves were 4-4 in second place in the division, and they were looking good. So I go back today to check their stats, and they have lost 4 in a row. Now they're 4-8. Freddie Freeman has stalled once again. Ronald Acuna, though's doing good.
Wait a minute. Okay. Wait. No. Wait just a minute. Say that last 2 names you just said there. Now I'm going back 2 shows for those of you that don't know. What was the name of the second to last person you said has stalled again?
Freddie Freeman.
So Freddie Freeman starts the season out 0-8 for 8 or 2-8, and you said he was going to pick it up, and
He did
now
well, no.
he's what? You just said it. Well, he did what?
Okay, can you let other people talk?
No.
This is not a solo show.
I can't. It is.
All right, so
Solo by Roger.
Freeman
Big
was
Rock.
getting into good shape. He had 4 home runs. He had 6 RBIs. He had 4 RBIs. But unfortunately, from Sunday when I looked till today, he still has 4 home runs and 4 RBIs. So he is not exactly tearing it up.
For the season, he has 4 home runs, 9 RBIs, and 7 runs.
Oh.
In the past week, he has 3 home runs and 8 RBIs.
How many at bats?
He is 7 for 29 since last week. So he has a 240 average in the past week.
That's still not- that's
It's
not
not great, but it's still early. But Roger was wanting to drop the 2020 MVP.
I got you, man. I'm all about Freddie Freeman, but he is not exactly tearing it up this year.
Okay, you guys are hollering about me across me, so let me defend me. So what happens is I'm ready to drop him, right? I wasn't ready to drop him, but I'm not ready to sign him. I'm not ready to sign that money. No. What I said was that money that he actually paid, you were saying, oh, he needs to get the money because he's doing this and he's the MVP and da-da-da-da. And I said, no, they don't need to give him the money
I
because
didn't say the money. You was wanting to let him go right then. I said there's no way you let him go. I didn't say you signed him to $400 million.
So side note, Roger, the minute somebody goes into a slump, is ready to let him go. So,
Get him out of here.
So,
But yet Mama T has kept him.
huh?
Yeah,
I would
definitely.
keep it. I know. I don't know how that works.
We stay on the opposite sides a lot. That's why we stay apart for half of the week.
Moving on. We're not going to argue about
As I said last week, what goes up must come down, and what goes down must come back up.
Well,
He
we'll
ain't
go
doing
down
either one.
further.
He's staying down.
So
Anyway.
moving on from baseball, because we will never get over that conversation right there. The Masters happened last week. Any golfers out there?
No.
He golfs. He
Every
used
once
to
in a while.
golf. Anyway, so for the very first time, we had a Japanese a Japanese man win the first major tournament. The Masters is the first time somebody from Japan has won a major tournament. So that's great. That was awesome.
And he tried to give it away.
He tried to
his
lose.
best.
I mean, he almost tanked that last. He
Got about
bogeyed his
one
last
stroke?
4 holes. He won by 1 stroke, but he was very proud of that green jacket.
And the guy
it-
from the year before missed it missed the cut of the day before.
Yeah, it was not good. But Tiger Woods chimed in on him.
Okay, I'm getting a text from Tiger right now.
You ain't getting no text from
Yes, I
Tiger.
am. And you know what he's saying?
What?
He's saying he don't care anymore. He's not going to be able to play.
Tiger got in a bad wreck. His ankles are a mess. But he was proud of Hideki Matsuma.
Yes.
Won the
I'm proud of
Masters.
Hideki.
He said the Masters win will impact the entire world. That's what Tiger said. And of course, Tiger was the first man of color to win the Masters, so Tiger should know. Had a very good career. He has 82 wins on the PGA Tour. Tied with who? Don't look at your papers. I wrote it down.
If I had to guess, I would say either
Jack Nicklaus?
I was going to say Nicholson or
Arnie.
Sam Snead.
Sam Snead. I
Sam
knew
Snead
that.
and Tiger,
That's
yeah.
what I was going to say.
Snead a quarterback for the Giants back
Oh my
then?
Yeah, it
Back
was.
to
And
the
you know what?
football.
I thought he was.
He threw for like 12 for 725, I think it was. But he wasn't.
People, do you see what I deal with here?
You're in South Georgia.
Do you feel sorry for me?
You're in
I know.
South Georgia.
We're in South Georgia, and they think the only sport is football. So we got the Valdosta Wildcats represented. We got the Lowndes County Vikings represented. Big Raj is going to haul it in for the VSU Blazers.
I'm hauling in for everybody.
So everybody out there listening, Valwood Valiants, Mama T's got you. I'm going to get all the information on you. We're going to present it every week because I am equal opportunity here.
Equal opportunity.
And if somebody gets me some Valwood stuff, I will wear it on the show. And they will get over it. Okay, on to the news of the day, or the week, or the month, possibly the year. Who knows? Okay.
The last couple of years.
So, there was a New York Times article in the paper. Yes. So I know nobody in Valdosta could possibly be alive and not know what's happened with Rush Propst and the Valdosta High School football team.
Well, everybody in this area.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody in this area.
All right. Because
Listen.
we are live. Again, we're live on Facebook. We're live on our website. We're live on Twitter. We're live on, what else we live on, Chris?
Mama June's.
We're live at Mama June's.
Yeah, that Mama June's and your website.
Oh, yeah. See,
Our
we're-
website.
There we
Yeah,
go.
our website, thearmchairsports.com.
So, yeah, we're.
Check it out on our website. We have a new webmaster. His name's Chris. He is doing an awesome job keeping our website up. We're going to start posting a lot more stuff. If you look at our Facebook page, I just posted a few videos. It's going to make all the boys cringe.
Yeah, because she goes all that
I
girly.
put some cheerleading, some swimming, and some gymnastics up there.
Hey, let me ask you a quick
Check that
question.
out.
This is totally off subject. So let me ask this question, okay? Now the Olympics are coming up, so this is kind of in that realm.
Right.
They have just brought break dancing into the Olympics. I just want to know from the football gurus. Now, I'm a former dancer, and we've owned a dance studio.
Right.
So is break dancing or hip hop a Olympic sport? Just a yes or no, or if you've got to explain, go ahead. It's just quick.
I
I don't
honestly,
see it, but
here's my thing
I
with
don't
that.
either.
See?
Wait,
But
here's
now
my thing
people
with that.
also say that NASCAR isn't a sport because the guys just sit in the car.
Here's my thing with that. If they were going to bring a dancing sport, it's very hard to judge hip hop because everybody does it differently and everybody's style is different. So, my opinion, if they were going to bring dancing to the Olympics, maybe they should have done some ballroom where there's set things you have to do and things you have to
Well, why not
to get
line
points.
dancing?
Well, here.
I mean, if
But
you
there's
get to do that.
in ballroom dancing, there's moves you have to do, there's ways you have to do them, there's set things you can count for or against. And other things are just, it's if you like it or not, that's how you score well. So,
I'll let you report that.
I will, don't worry,
So-
I got you, because I am a fan of the Olympics and I watch it all.
Well, now I get an opinion, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that small one.
I had to
Hold on.
ask first. So yeah, here's the thing. All right, you have. I know why they don't. Well, my opinion on why they don't do it would be, they are saying they have the slower portions of this kind of dance. They would be in the winter, because let's face it, in your skating, ice skating, they've got they do all that different type of music and things there.
Right.
And I think they're bringing actually, I think it's culturally, they're actually bringing dance in because I
Well,
think
Shelby
it's
said,
just
why not tap?
That's true. And Shelby, yes, dance is a sport. I am not saying those break dancers are not athletes, because they are athletes. They are strong, they are conditioned, they have incredible core strength, especially the All I'm saying is to judge, it is an opinion to judge it. It's the judge's opinion on how well you did. Whereas if you had something you could score as you did this move, this move, this move, and you did it well, so you get a score, might be a little more fair.
But I think they're going to do just like they did with the gymnastics. They're going to actually set a parameter, and if you can do this or you can do this, like what's the lady's name that keeps making all these new things?
Simone Biles.
Simone?
Watch the video I
So-
just put up on Facebook, guys. It's an example. That was the hardest floor routine any woman has ever done. And there are moves in there that the men can't even do, but they won't give her full credit for them because they don't want other women trying it and hurting themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I agree.
yeah, I will argue all day that Simone Biles is
Well,
the greatest athlete of our time.
I don't
but
agree with
we're
that, but
moving
I
on.
agree with the other.
We're moving on to the mess in Valdosta today, or this week.
This week.
So the Valdosta City Board had a school meeting. School board meeting, and Roger went. Big Raj went.
Roger.
And tell us what happened.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Literally, I was sitting there, and they went in an hour and a half discussion, or as they say, executive meeting, which is a discussion. And they went into that meeting, and for an hour and a half, and they came out, and what was actually on their itinerary, or whatever you want to call it, their sheet, was they were going back to discuss seven, may have been 8 or 9 different people that were resigning, that were leaving the school system. One was a Valdosta coach, one was a couple other people like janitorial and things like that, and then there were promotions. And if I had to guess, there was probably about 15 of those. You're going to tell me that took an hour and a half to go through that meeting to do that? And then afterwards, so there was nothing there, and some of the other reporters there, they went up to the chairman and they went up to the superintendent, and they asked if they could talk, and they asked a couple questions. He said yes, so they started answering questions there. They invited them over to the cameras, so they came to the cameras, where I went to with them, and they were asking them questions about, was rust probes talked about in that meeting? And the superintendent said flat out no. They said, were the sanctions talked about in that meeting? Let's remind everybody what the sanctions were.
So the Georgia High School Association, regarding the rush probes, and if, for anybody who's been under a rock for the past few weeks and don't know, there's a big controversy. Rush Probst has been placed on administrative leave. He's been accused of, what's the word?
Pay for play.
Recruiting players. And paying for things like renting their house, buying them clothes. Electricity bills, as well as there's a big recording by who used to be the Wildcat.
Director of operations or something.
Executive director.
For the Booster Club,
Touchdown Club, yeah.
the Touchdown Club.
See, we call it Booster.
$32,000 a year to run the Valdosta High. So, big thing, he got recorded, he claimed a bunch of stuff, he asked for funny money to help pay for things for the kids. Again, it's all out there in the open, everybody's heard it, so I'm not saying anything there, but
Talking with us there, and they asked if the students, if he had spoken to the students, and he said no, that the head coach wasn't allowed to speak to the students at that time, and he said, but the principal.
in relation to that, 5 students, in the sanctions from Georgia High School Association, 5 students were declared ineligible for next year, for the we're not going to bring him into it.
That's going to strike another opinion in here in a minute, because pretty much we're going to have a lot of conversation about this.
But I believe in protecting minors. We're not going to talk about them.
Right.
But so the 5 players, even though they're all over the news, but the 5 players were declared ineligible for next season. Valdosta High School has forced to forfeit every game last season. So now all the people they beat, the game's been forfeited. Preps has been put on administrative leave, and they are going to have to pay $7,500 in a fine for all this.
Okay.
And they have
Nothing.
And they can't play in the playoffs this coming year.
Yeah, and they can't go to the playoffs this year. So
and they have appealed that, and it will be heard.
They have appealed
Next
it.
week.
Okay, let me
By
finish.
Monday, I
Let me
believe.
finish the board meeting. We're going to get into
Okay, go
that.
ahead.
We're going to get into that. So they're getting ready to leave, and I said to myself, I have to ask these questions because this is about the kids. We all know that any sport, high school level, and we all can sit right here and agree with this, high school level, it's about the kids, or it should be about the kids. That's the way we should make it, is about the kids. Winning is great, and I've been on winning and I've been on losing teams, and it feels great when you win, but it's about if you give that morality to that child. But anyway, so I asked a question. I said, so is Russ Probst allowed to speak to the kids? He said he is on leave. Quote, he is on leave. I said, is he allowed to talk to the kids? Has he been suspended or leave? You said leave. Is he been suspended or is he on leave? Quote, he is on leave. I said, okay, so is he allowed to talk to the kids and be around the kids? He said, quote, again, he's on leave. I said, that's not what I asked you. What I asked you was, is he allowed to speak to the kids? He said, point blank, no.
No, okay.
Now, and then that was pretty much the end of the conversation, and I have a problem with that, and we'll get into that in a few minutes.
So who, is his name Shelton something? What's the?
Shelton Felton,
Shelton Felton is the acting coach for Valdosta High School. They don't like interim, it's acting. Okay. So he's the acting coach.
Okay,
So let's get back. So, Probst has made a big statement that he and the school are appealing the decision. He's sure they will be vindicated. I'm not so sure they'll be vindicated, but, so tell me, you big Valdosta fan, what do you think about the hiring of Russ Probst? Did you think that was a good idea?
I was cautiously optimistic when it happened in Colquitt. I was nervous as a Valdosta fan because of what we had just went through with the previous coach not being brought back and all that we went through with that, to bring in another coach.
you're talking about Rodemaker being fired,
Coach Rodemaker not being.
which is making this whole issue come to light right now.
Because,
Yeah.
so
Coach Rod was not renewed,
right.
Okay.
and all the drama that went on after that, all the second meeting and everything that we went through with all of that, I felt nervous about bringing in a coach that had drama along with him as well. And I said on several other media outlets, if we can leave all the baggage behind, he can come in fresh and anew, be given a chance to prove himself and to start clean, then that would be, I would be okay. That would be fine. Let's start fresh and anew, new beginning, and move on from Colquitt and not bring that with us. Or,
With him over, right?
yeah.
That's fair.
Then
Okay.
The question there is, in your opinion then, did he bring that baggage with him?
I don't think he brought the baggage with him, but with the stuff on the recording,
He went and bought a new suitcase.
he created
Created it right off the
Yeah.
bat. I mean,
Yeah.
as soon as he hit the floor running,
He bought that kid from
you was
California.
hearing
Yeah.
stuff across.
So, all right, I'm gonna switch from you for just a second. I'm gonna come back there. So you're a Lowndes fan, and you have no beef with Valdosta, but Lowndes, there's always this tension between you guys, especially during the Wintersville Classic. But the kids, I
Yes.
completely understand that. But what is your opinion right now of what Valdosta is doing as a Lowndes fan, or things that you heard when he was first coming in?
As a football fan,
Okay.
Rush is probably the best there is at X's and O's. Now,
I agree.
I would not have hired him based on the past. I mean, you done had 2 chances, and you gotta call it like you see it. You've been given chance after chance. And as a Lowndes fan, we was hearing stuff right off the bat, and we was hearing it from our Wildcat brethren. Stuff about plans for the touchdown club. We had already heard money right off the bat that was wanting to be switched up underneath the table. Like I say, as a football fan, it seems the kids love him. I don't think he means harm. Like we talked about after the show last week, he's paid to win games. If he's, I won't say the word, but, if he goes and wins state the next 3 years, but he's a god, no matter how he acts. But he can be a great guy, which Coach O'Brien, and they get let go.
So what you're
So
saying?
if he goes 2-8 the next 3 years, he's looking for a job if he gets a third year.
But is the win worth what's happening now?
Let's go.
Not when it comes to the kids.
Maybe X's and O's, you say he's the greatest coach. Is he the greatest coach, or is he the greatest coach
No,
for going out and finding
I'm
the
saying
best players
he's a
to
good
come
coach.
in?
My problem with it, and it's probably Marcus, is in a Wildcat fan earlier today said it best, the 5 suspended players weren't even Cats 2 years ago.
That was the point. He recruited them. He brought them
Exactly.
in. That's why they're
I think he could
suspended.
win with local talent.
So the question to you, Marcus, so you think he could win with local talent? The question to Marcus is, as being that fan, do you think that he was wrong for getting those kids to come over here? Should he have just used those kids here? And we're still, I haven't forgotten, we're going to go back to this Felton thing, but I just want to ask you that question real quick. Do you, this is Mr. Wildcat here, by the way. So as Mr. Wildcat, as everybody in town says to you, is that where, are you guys okay with this, or some of you not? You tell me.
Here's my take on it. I'm going to use some college vernacular, some college picture in it.
But don't break the table when you do that.
If I'm a high school senior and I'm looking for a college, I'm going to look at all the coaches, the wins, championships, everything. I'm going to use Alabama. Alabama doesn't need to call me for me to want to go to Alabama. But if they call me and give me an offer, I'm going to go. Same thing with Coach Probst and Valdosta. Valdosta or Coach Probst, they don't need to call, say, Jimmy and invite him to come. That kid, if he's looking for a school or a coach that's a winning program or a winning coach, you put them two together, that kid's gonna want to go.
So, but
Wait.
we all get
Hold on, Mama's going to speak 1 minute.
Come on,
Let me
come on.
one thing to that. It is perfectly legal for people from all over the country to want to come play at Alabama, or Georgia, or Florida, or anywhere. It is not legal for somebody from California to come play in Valdosta just because he wants to play football for Probst.
That's legal. What's not legal is to pay for it.
And it's not legal if he does not live here.
If he moves here, then
If he moves here, he can.
You cannot fake it and say we're separated, have daddy move over here
Well,
with the
that's
kids
why he
just
was
to
found
play football.
ineligible.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It is.
The issue wasn't whether he was going to be playing. The issue was
And the mother
date.
who said as soon as football season's over, he's
That was
coming
the
back
dad.
and we're getting back
That was
together.
the dad.
That was,
according to GHSA rules, the whole family has to move.
Right.
There was the same problem with the Del Rio kid who is now down at Florida. He was going to Grayson, and he couldn't go to Grayson because the whole family didn't move.
Right.
Somebody was still
That's what I'm
in
saying.
another state, so he went somewhere else.
It is perfectly legal for Nick Saban to run his program and people all over the country going, I want to go play for Nick Saban. It is not perfectly legal for high school kids to go, I want to play for him because he wins.
But there's a difference between legal and ethical.
But they maneuver, they play the they play the situation
that's-
to work for them, and it's
As long as
not.
they make the
It's-
bona fide move, then they can go
But
where they
they're not making
want.
the bona, if one of those kids was coming from
Okay, all
Concord
right.
to school.
Let me
every
ask you
day.
this. They're making a bona fide move, so is that why he was allowed to play in the same state of Georgia, in the same place, going all the way up to Grayson, Georgia, who won the state championship? So he leaves here and everybody loses everything they have for the next 2 years, and he leaves and goes to Grayson, wins the state championship, and now he's at the University of Miami.
I
I'm not saying,
That's the
I asked the same question when he left.
The question is, if he was ineligible at Valdosta,
How could he be?
but he went to Grayson, and the GHSA said, okay, your paperwork's fine, your dates are fine, you can play. The question now is, if y'all were saying there was a problem with him, and he wasn't eligible at all, why isn't something being done to Grayson?
He should not have been eligible. They manipulated the
But there was
system to give the boy a place to
there was a
play.
loophole in the bylaws that has supposedly, I'm saying supposedly because I haven't found it yet, but I've heard that the bylaws have been, adjusted, adjusted.
adjusted, that's a different word, okay.
Oh,
You talking about the new ones? The new one that they created?
Yeah, because-
The Garcia rule.
Well, I don't know about what they call it.
No, that's
I'm
what
just
they're
telling you.
calling it, the Garcia rule, where the kid you can't just say,
But now,
okay,
but now
I'm
you
mad, I'm
can't,
gonna
you
go there.
can't go from one school to the other, you have to sit out a year.
Yeah.
right.
Oh, so they're going to do the same thing that the NAAC, the.
Well, now, you bring that up, and the NCAA has just announced, yesterday, I saw it late last night, that the NCAA has now adjusted their rule to say, starting this fall, a kid does not have to sit out when he transfers.
That's SEC. That's SEC rule already.
Well, I saw it all, this
Yeah,
is
but
all NCAA.
That's all now, but SEC started that 2 years ago, and you can transfer from school to school inside SEC as long as you had to sign off on the coach. But anyway, we digress. Let me go back over here.
We digress. But go ahead, one minute.
It didn't take long, did it?
Glenn Morgan.
Let
Hey, Glenn, thanks for watching. His opinion on this whole thing is, that's how he wins. He buys the best players around. He doesn't have to be that good of a coach if he has the best players.
What do you have to say to Glenn?
That's what Glenn says. Thanks for the comment.
Like I said, if a kid wants to come, he will come. But if there is proof
Okay, all right.
that it's being done, then there has to
So
be something
it seems
done.
like we're
So-
ganging up on you, and we're
wait.
not. But
Do I understand that you're okay with the system being manipulated if the kid wants to come here?
I didn't say manipulate, I said if you
That's
want.
what they do. They manipulate the system to come here.
If there's proof, then it has to be
Because
fixed.
they don't like pack their houses up and move here. But usually one parent comes and stays in an apartment.
right, but let me. Okay.
Anyway, okay,
Let me-
we're digressing. We're
let
not
me-
picking on you,
let
man.
me-
You're a
let me-
Valdosta fan, and that's a fine program.
I just want, yeah, it is. Valdosta's a fine program.
But
but
the bad part is the kids are gonna suffer.
The kids are
And
gonna
it's
suffer.
not the 5, it's the ones that can play.
Because I don't think any of those five are
Well,
still
in-
here.
Let me put
No,
this out. Hold
yeah,
on.
they're
Are
still
they?
here. Well, the
the
one
ones-
is
the
down
rest
in
of them are still
Miami,
here?
but the other 4 are all starters,
Not just the
correct?
other four, the whole team suffers
No,
next
but I'm
year.
saying the ones that are suspended for the upcoming year. It hurts the other players.
Yeah, it hurts the other.
Let me
players.
do this, okay? I'm going to put this out there. You're taking a lot of heat from the three of us, and I do so appreciate that. But let me look right there into that camera, and let me say, Russ Probst, you're more than welcome to come on the show. You're more than welcome to sit right there in that chair. You're more than welcome to say what you have to say. We're not going to badmouth you. We're not going to badmouth the Valdosta organization. But I'm giving that open invitation right now to you to come on this show and tell us what's going on. I know you can't talk about a lot of stuff, but you can say what everybody wants to hear. They want to know who you are and what's going on. We'll listen to everything you have to tell us. So I'm just putting that out. Tell you why I say that. We may be a little small town show, but the reason I'm putting that is because somebody received a text message today, and we know people are listening because a superintendent or somebody had contacted some people in town here. Well, let's just get right from the horse's mouth. What happened?
I saw a post earlier today that had mentioned Shelton Felton being the interim coach. It was on Facebook, one of the other pages that I follow. So I saw it on the page. I should have checked it out before I shared it, but I shared it. It's close to the program, and said that Dr. Kaysen had called her.
Dr. Kaysen being who?
He's the superintendent of the Valdosta City Schools.
He called her, okay.
He called them and said, please take the post down. We don't want misinformation out there.
So do you,
Because misinformation.
Because he's, in the post, it was said that Shelton Felton is the interim coach.
Okay.
But Dr. Kaysen says his official title is acting head coach.
okay, stop, just one second.
That's the same
Okay,
thing.
do you in any way whatsoever work for the school system in Valdosta, Georgia?
No.
Do you post on behalf of the school system in Valdosta, Georgia?
As far as official capacity, no.
Okay. All right, go ahead, I'm sorry. So my question would be then, when you got the post, did you take it down?
Yes.
Did the other?
Everything has been removed.
As all of those posts
Yes,
have been
everything has been removed.
Okay,
So-
so my question then is, do you feel like, and you probably don't, and this is why I'm asking, do you feel like you were being censored by the school system, you being an individual, nothing affiliated with the school, not affiliated with any of those, do you feel like they were trying to tell you what you could and you couldn't post because you are that avid Wildcat fan and you support them no matter what?
No, no, I don't feel that way.
Okay.
This is the way I feel about it.
Okay.
I am a diehard Valdosta Wildcat fan. I went to the school, I was part of the team. You cut my arm, I'm gonna bleed black and yellow all over this table. I do not want to in any way misinform Wildcat Nation with misinformation. If he's not given an interim title, then I don't want to say it. If he's called an acting head coach because Russ Probst is still employed, then I want to put out there that he's the acting head coach.
That's fair.
So I did not want myself. I don't know the other people.
We're not going to, we're
not going to
talking
mention
about
him.
you.
That's
Yeah.
up to him.
Yeah, we're talking about
But for me, I did not want to mislead anybody. So I took it down once I was notified and given the correct information. I said, thank you for letting me know. I don't want to mislead anybody. And I took it down.
Okay, so my next question to you would be then, you said there was the difference between interim
And acting.
Interim and acting,
And when I
okay?
looked it up,
Okay,
it said acting is the person, in this case, Coach Felton, doing the duties of a head coach without the official title or any incentives against the pay or whatever. Not, he's just doing the duties of a head coach.
So it's semantics.
Now, if he was the interim, from what I've read and what I've studied this afternoon, this morning, if he was the interim, then that would mean said coach, Coach Russ Probst, would have been removed. He would then be the coach in place while they did a search for a new coach.
so is acting not a coach in place?
No, he's just doing the duties because Coach Probst is not able to be there.
Okay, hold on one second, hold on. Let me finish.
You're saying he
what I'm
has to
saying.
do what Coach Probst wants?
He was asked to take on the leadership role of the head coach while Coach Probst is
To run it the way he wants to?
Hold on, let me finish my thing here. So, I sent this to you, right? This is the same thing I sent to you?
Yeah, I saw that,
Okay?
yeah.
All right, it's the actual definition comparing acting to interim. Now, I'm gonna ask Mama T to read it because I'm really a slow reader. So I'm gonna ask her to read just this first
It's
time.
not a
just-
coloring book.
It's not a color book, I can't color. Go ahead.
The difference in acting managers and interim managers primarily exists in the designation of the position rather than the roles. For all intents and purposes, both job titles encompass the exact same job duties and responsibilities.
Okay, so.
So it's semantics,
the
is what
last-
it
But the
is.
last word said, the exact same job, the exact same duties. So they wanted you to take it down, and do you think that's, I'm just asking, I don't know, do you think that's because it was giving the Valdosta, I think there was something else you missed on that.
I got this for you.
Hold on, wait a minute.
No, let me talk for a minute.
I haven't finished the question. So what I'm saying is, so what's happening, we're not getting to it is, The reason they wanted you to take it down was because why?
Because it was misleading.
It was misleading. No, but there was something else in that text message, if I'm not mistaken, because I have a copy of it. They didn't want it to do what?
They did not want to add to the stuff that's already out there.
Because of what? Because of what's coming up on the 19th. They didn't want anybody that at the board in Georgia, in the state of Georgia, the board that they're going in front of the appeals court with, correct? Or the appeals process.
I don't think it had anything to do with that. I think it was they don't want any misinformation to get out there when you've already had
But it says, I'm going to read exactly what the text message says.
Roger.
It says, want information essentially until we have some resolution to this investigation. So until the 19th comes.
Exactly. You don't want to add more stuff people talk about.
Okay. I mean, I understand that. I'm just wanting to clarify
if
here.
we've already got, like I said earlier, when I talked about Coach Probst coming, you've got the stuff with Coach Rod not being renewed.
Right.
Now you got Coach Probst and all the stuff that the GHSA is looking into and everything, and now you have their ruling being appealed, and that ruling coming on the 19th, after the appeal process, and now you don't want something else to be out there with misinformation saying that there's an interim coach, which would imply, like I said earlier, which from what I studied, interim coach would imply that Coach Probst isn't there anymore.
But wouldn't it be more misleading to say, well, he's on administrative leave, now they're saying he's on leave?
Everything that I have read is on paid administrative leave.
But most of the time, if you say, hey, he's the interim coach, 99% of us is going to say, okay, he's holding on to it until they get things straight. But when you come back and say, well, he's not interim, he's acting, it's like it's wordplay.
Well, if I put on a Superman costume, I'm not Superman.
Well, I know that, but you aren't saying you are.
But I'm acting like Superman, but I'm not getting paid to be him.
You getting paid.
But if Big Raj is not here next Thursday, he's the host of the show, I guess,
Mama T runs everything.
Unless she can't get a word in there.
Go ahead.
But, okay, Big Raj is not here next week. He's the not Big Raj. You're acting like the
I'm
host.
co-host.
No,
I'm not trying to jump you, I'm just trying to say, it seems with what they're saying,
It's
and
just
just
being
straight up say, hey, look, while Coach is out, Coach Felton
Coach Shelton
is acting in his place,
Exactly.
and that's it.
That's
But you have,
exactly what you're saying.
But when you say, well, he's not acting, he's interim, or he's not interim, he's acting, it seems we get into wordplay, and that's where the confusion starts
Okay,
coming in.
whoa. Go to your separate corners.
No, wait, let me finish.
Mama T had something to say too.
This is where I have to go back to the board meeting. That's why I wanted to bring that up. Because the superintendent, his name is
Kaysen.
Dr. Kaysen, okay? I specifically asked him, I said to him, standing this far from me, is he suspended or not? He says, no, he's on leave. That's all he says. So, to me, if he can say, well, he's on leave, is he on administrative leave? So, being in his position, he should clarify, he should clarify that a little more. I think that I'm on your side. I think that he has done, you've done a great job defending a program that people need to defend, because it's not about us and it's not about probes, it's about them kids. And that's why I wanted you here, because I feel like anybody in this town could give us spatter at the mouth, but you're going to give us the real deal. And I do appreciate that. I appreciate where you're coming from.
Thank you.
And I know it's hard to sit there and listen to this, especially when you feel like all three of us are on it. But,
I would have
it's the time
defended
to
him if I could have got a word in.
Yeah, no, that's why we didn't let you talk. Anyways, but I do appreciate what you're saying. All right, Mama T, go ahead. I'm going to back
The
off
time has
now.
passed.
The time has passed.
The Time has passed. This is what I have to say about that. And y'all, all three can shut your raps for a minute and let me say something.
Woo, mama getting nasty.
So here's what I think. I understand where Valdosta's coming from. I really do. It is a storied program. It has a great history. They don't call it Wintersville for nothing. All right. Hiring Probst, when they hired him, when I heard that, I thought, ugh. Just because the last two big schools he's been at, he left in controversy. He left Hoover with a second family somewhere, and allegedly, and again I say allegedly, this is a rumor, I do not know if this is true or not, he was sleeping with one of the administrators in the school to give his kids good grades. True or not, I don't know. It's on the internet. You know, if it's on the internet, it must be true, but I don't know. Anyway, then he went to Colquitt. Awesome at Colquitt. 119 wins, 2 state championships, back-to-back perfect seasons. Cannot argue the man knows what to do on the football field.
No, great as
Cannot
X's and
argue
O's.
that, right. So, but he made $141,000 his last year in Colquitt County. $141,000. I'm a nurse. I work in the emergency room. I help save people's lives and I don't make that money. He coaches football, makes that money. That's a problem for me, but anyway. But allegedly, also in Colquitt County, they provided him a truck, they helped pay his mortgage, and they paid his cell phone bills.
Well, now, in his defense, most coaches,
Get a truck, I get
they
that.
do get a
But they
little
don't get their
perk.
mortgages paid.
Well, no,
Okay.
not that I know of.
But, so when Valdosta hired him, I was like, ugh, is that a good move? He's not got a good track record. So, but again, I agree with you boys on this one point. It is about the kids. It's about those kids that play football. It is about the kids at that high school who are so proud of their football team. It's about those cheerleaders who work hard. It's about that band who gets out there and performs. It is not about Rush Probst. It's about the kids. So like him or not, I understand Valdosta's Board of Education wants to defend their school. I get it. So if it means more to them to say he is acting coach and not interim coach, then just go with it and say he's acting coach.
It's about the
Even if
kids,
it's
but you're missing
semantics.
something that's about also
What?
money.
For what? Well, yeah, money, but it's a $7,500 fine for the school. What I'm saying is that fine is not nearly as bad as not being able to go to the playoffs next year, as forfeiting
But
all
that's
the
what I'm
games last
saying, it's
year.
costing them money.
Yeah.
I mean, when you
But
don't get to play them extra
What I'm saying
games.
is I understand Valdosta wanting to try to control it a little bit, and if the one thing they can do is call him acting coach and not interim coach, then we let them do that, and it's fine. If that makes them feel better, and that's what they need to do to try to save their reputation a little bit and get out of this with some head held high somehow, then let them do it. It's fine. Valdosta is, what, the winningest program in the country in high school, is that right,
Yes.
Marcus? So, you know, there's a lot of proud Valdosta fans out there, and I get you guys are defending your school, and I don't blame you. I would do it too if I was a giant Valdosta fan. I'd be right there with you. So, it's going to play out. The appeals will happen, and the Georgia High School Association will make a decision. In my mind, Valdosta needs to save a little face here, and they need to get rid of Probst. My opinion, I'm allowed to have it, and that's all I got to say about that.
Do you think they're gonna keep him?
Can we speak?
Go ahead, Big
Yes.
Guy.
I just had to it's my turn!
It's your turn. Go
The
ahead.
teacher has spoken. Anyway.
I'm supposed to bring the fly swatter and start smacking y'all.
Well, okay, so my question to you, what's next? What do you think?
Do you think he stays?
What do you think personally in your heart as Mr. Wildcat? What do you think and what do you hope happens?
I hope we can get through this. I pray we get through this, and not greener days, better days ahead.
Greener pastures.
Yeah, and to your question, Mama T, I think he stays.
Do you think he stays?
That's just my feeling. I could be wrong. I may be wrong. I don't know. I'm not on any side of the information or anything. That's just my gut feeling.
Right.
But I'm hope like we've all said.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for the kids. It's been a rough 2 years for my program. I'll get emotional in a minute.
It's okay.
I don't like it. You know, I hate the negative publicity, and I'm ready for better days ahead for my Wildcats.
So here's why I think that if they keep him, it's kind of going to be another smudge mark on Valdosta. With all the things he's been accused of and the things he has done in Colquitt, admittedly, how do you keep him and still maintain your pride?
Well, you try to move on. Let that.
To me, keeping him is saying winning these football games is more important than the reputation of our school.
Well,
That's my opinion.
well, we're all human. We all make mistakes. If we're not allowed to move forward and try to do better, and they find no fault here on Monday,
Then he stays.
then he stays. And he gets better, and he learns from all of this and keeps moving forward.
But do you-
We all got to be.
you
We all
really-
got to make better.
Chocolate, he didn't learn from Hoover, so what's to say he's going to learn from this?
I mean, it was.
I mean, I think Valdosta's program is too proud and too good to have to deal with that. There's
I mean, we're going-
Either way right now, whether he stays or goes, the program right now is fractured.
The program's taking a
And
black eye.
what is the
You
answer to
can't-
fixing it? If he stays, you got a bunch that don't want him there. If he goes, you got a bunch that don't want the
It's the
new
same
guy.
thing we went
It's the
through.
same thing that they just got out
The
of.
same thing we went through last year.
Yeah.
There were some that agreed with Coach Rod not being renewed. There were some that wanted Coach Rod being renewed. And the same thing now. You got some that are on Coach Propst's side. I don't know the numbers,
Yeah. I
but
mean,
and then there's some that don't want him here anymore. But you have to go off facts. If I go to Jimmy and I'm talking to Jimmy and he's recording it, and I'm just shooting the bull with Jimmy about stuff, whatever.
So he was with you. Wait, no. I've been quiet.
Hold on.
So I got to ask you this. I've been quiet. I did what Mama T said, and I took a timeout in the corner. But I'm going to tell you right now, you're telling me that was him mansplaining
What I'm saying,
with those tapes.
what I'm saying is the tapes. As far as I know, I wasn't there.
I can hear. I got good ears.
But I wasn't there. But what I'm saying, if I'm in a conversation with
But see,
Jim,
wait. Those people right there aren't here either, but they can hear me and they can see me.
Exactly.
So it's what happened.
but
Go ahead.
if I'm talking to Jimmy, and then he records it without me knowing,
Which is
and then,
legal.
and then shares it,
Yeah, it's legal.
but then they don't find anything that I did wrong, if I was just talking,
And he has come back and said he was just bragging.
if there's,
he did.
what is wrong with talking? I could talk about the biggest fish in the world that I caught. I could tell you till I'm blue in the face that I caught this big fish.
Okay, now
But is there proof that I caught the
let's go
big
back
fish?
to what you were saying a
So
while ago.
in-
It's about the kids,
so
and it's
when
not
the-
about that big fish.
When the
He's
GHSA
talking-
goes and does this finding,
But he's talking about kids. He's So this is not about just talking. This is about people. This is about 18 years and younger. It's not about, I'm just going to say I was the biggest man in
I
the
think
locker
some
room.
of it, though, I believe he was just bragging.
if I go,
I think he was bragging about some, but in some of it, it was, he admitted on video, or on tape.
On tape,
He
yeah.
said he was talking to a player from Chris County, he was talking to this player, that player.
Mm-hmm.
He admitted on tape saying that he had about 5 or 6 recruits he was talking to.
let's take it to college again.
Okay, yeah.
If me and Jimmy, which we're not, but if me and Jimmy were the same, or fan of the same college team,
Okay.
and we're talking and I say, man, Jimmy, we had a rough year last year, or rough few years. I would like to have A, B, C, D, E, F, G players come to said school.
Right.
I'm talking, I want those kids, but if they don't come, they don't come.
But you say to Joe,
If they come, there's a problem.
So if there's facts, like I said earlier, if there's facts of done wrong,
back that up. Right.
then
I
you
agree.
have to fix the problem.
Well, see, and that's the thing, we're gonna find out the 19th, because Valdosta has appealed, like you said, they feel confident they're gonna win, and evidently the GHSA feels confident to have handed down what they handed down.
Right.
So, whole thing is gonna be settled the 19th, as far as that part. Then, there's another hurdle later, and that hurdle, I think, will be dictated by what happens the 19th.
And yeah, because was it you, it might have been you, that said it all going to depend on what the PSC says, or PCS, or whatever.
PSC has to vote on his certificate.
Yeah.
Teaching certificate, because without teaching certificate, because when all said and done, coaches are teachers.
Right.
Right,
So if they don't get a certificate, then they don't teach, they don't coach.
right.
So, and like we've said earlier, he has a past, and it was taken from him at Colquitt.
No, they never did take it from him.
The certificate.
The certificate wasn't taken
It
from
was
him.
suspended.
It was suspended upon appeal, and then he won his appeal.
And then he got time
Right.
served, and he got it back.
He got his appeal. Right, he won.
So it will depend on whether they say, okay, you did it before, we're not gonna let you do it again, we're gonna take it from you, or we're gonna say, okay, you did it before, we'll give you another chance, don't do it again.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what
How
happened. I
many
think,
chances do you get?
but I don't think that's what happened, though. I think what happened was
That's to be determined.
he appealed. Yeah,
Because, I mean-
he appealed. But see, he appealed it, and then on the appeal they overturned it. So he didn't get that chance. All right, there was no. They didn't say.
You talking about with the PSE?
Yeah.
They reached an agreement.
Right, exactly, which means they overturned it in the end, and he didn't have to go against
In
anything.
the articles, it said he got time served or something, and they
Yeah,
said,
basically, it's like a no-no.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean, I didn't say I did do it.
So
I
it-
can't prove I
We got audio tape.
it's up to GHSA, it's up to the PSC to decide whether he can or can't.
Right, well, and you know what, the way I look at the whole scenario, for me, and Jimmy will get his turn, because everybody, you two had yours, I'll have mine, and he'll have his, and what our opinion is on it, I kind of understand where you're coming from as a fan. I've been a parent, Camden County High School. I've been a fan. I've been a booster member, which you guys call club members or something here. So my thing is, I really get where you're coming from. You're wanting to support your team wholeheartedly. And I appreciate that more than anything else in this world. Is you're here not for Probes, not for Shelton, not for any of them other coaches. You're here because you enjoy watching those kids play the game that they want to play and they want to further on their career.
And I have blood, sweat, and tears in the program.
Right.
And I will support them till the day I'm gone.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So, I appreciate that. Just as we would go with Lowndes, and he would go with Lowndes, and he would fight to the end with Lowndes, just as you're doing with Valdosta. So I really do appreciate that. So, with that being said, you being a guest here on our show, and we're running a little bit late, but you being a guest on our show, we wanted to give you something to say thank you for coming here to our show. Now, it's a nice gift, but it's a gag gift. I'm just going to tell you up front. Okay?
Is it?
Don't look at me, I don't know.
Please tell me it's not maroon and white. Or crimson and white.
He has no idea what it is. So
And it's not red and black,
I'm gonna ask you.
What's wrong with red and black?
I'm gonna ask you to open
I've
it.
been defending you all this time.
So, but we just because you came on here and you took all of this from
It
us.
won't bite, I promise.
And we want you to understand that we do care about Valdosta. We do care about Valdosta fans. Go ahead, open it.
Where's the pocket knife or anything?
You don't need one. Just rip it open, man. You can rip it right out of there. My mother-in-law gave me that package, so you can rip it off.
Oh, Lord, it's a mother-in-law gift. I don't know if I want it now for real.
It is a Roger gift.
It's a Roger
It's a
gift for
Roger. Oh,
sure.
you might not want to show it on TV then.
It's from Camden County.
No, it's not from Camden.
Camden County
Is it a
got,
pocket, is it a pocket recorder?
Go ahead and pull it out and show everybody what.
Camden County got their coach back that won 3 state titles with.
He
You gotta
can-
look out for them.
Oh, it's a plowboy. I used to be plowboy. It's a used to be plowboy.
Wait, that's the wrong color. Our program ain't dead right now.
Show everybody. Show everybody.
Whoa,
He got
So
so
he done got
excited.
too excited.
Ain't that so awesome? It's a used-to-be plowboy helmet.
You said it all week last week, so we had to, let's set it out here so everybody can actually see it. Last week, if you guys couldn't hear as much.
It's the Madison County Cowboys.
It's, last week, all last week, he said that they keep going back and they talking about old stuff and they talking about all this stuff, and both of y'all were back and forth about it. So we just wanted to thank you with that you actually, when I saw that, I was like, I told Mama T, I said,
Could have brought me a trophy or something.
no, it's not a participation trophy. This is a
No, I mean a state championship trophy. So
oh, well, you know,
I did win a state championship. I had to sit across from Jimmy, being a plowboy. Nothing against Jimmy, but being a plowboy, I had to be in the presence of a plowboy.
when it happened.
Or Camden
We were in
County.
the presence of the Wildcats when
Greatness.
Camden beat them.
When we beat you in the state
That was
championship.
next day.
We won the state championship.
That's next
He was there. He was actually there.
We'll talk about that off air.
We were too.
We'll circle back.
All right, so thank you, everybody, for listening to our show. We'll be back, I'm not sure when, next Thursday?
next
And we want to thank Mama June's for having us back out.
Yeah, Mama
Thank you, Mama
June.
June's.
And I gotta get another cup of coffee
And
because
big,
this was cold.
big thank you to Danny's Music, over near the mall, Valdosta, Danny's Music, who helped us get our sound working properly, so
And
thank you.
Chris.
Yeah,
Oh,
if y'all
Chris.
need anything,
Chris
go to
done
Danny's
left.
Music,
Look,
it's great,
hey,
yeah. Chris, our webmaster, he had to sneak out
Have we
on
not
us.
got our photographer? We haven't said anything about her
Come
yet.
over here just a minute. Now, she's already on our website.
Yeah, she's
I
on our
thought you was
website.
telling her to leave.
Yeah, get over here. No, come on over so everybody can see.
So all the pictures that show up on our website, this beautiful young lady takes them.
She takes it. We'll let her give the information on who she is and where you can locate her.
I'm on Facebook as Erica Nicole, but it's spelled like nickel, Nicholl.
And she has done all our work, and those flashes you see in the background. She's here taking those pictures, and she's done a fabulous
She
job.
does
And
some really beautiful work, so if anybody needs some
Thank
pictures
you.
taken, hit Erica Nicole up, and she will hook you up.
And
Danny's Music, if you need some kind of sound system, anything to do with music, Danny's Music is the place to go, and if you're just plain old hungry, go on out to Mama June's and fill your gullet up, and everybody will be happy.
so the last word has to go to our guest.
And once again, I just want to say thank you to Mama June's, thank you to all our sponsors, and thank you.
And I'm going to let him have it. I'm going to let him have it and not say nothing. I know what the last two words is going to be.
A big thank you to Big Raj, Mama T, and Mr. Jimmy for making this guy's dreams come true. I don't know when I'll be back on the air, or if, or when, but the last 2 weeks you made my dreams come true being a part of a radio show. So I really appreciate it. And as always, go Cats and God bless.
And with that being said, go to our website at thearmchairsports.com and all the social media, and you'll be able to go.
Have a good night.
And we're not out yet. Last time I dropped the mic and I was still talking, so we're not out yet. She'll get